The Latvan zone is an oceanic zone in the Norwegian Sea, discovered in 1961 after a beakless cargo ship sunk during a storm. At about 20 kilometers depth, a phenomenon takes place where the water pressure suddenly shifts from the typical oceanic floor-crushing depth to that of a swimming pool. After the discovery, Urban Shade quickly began the construction of the Hadal Black site. In 1967, Urban Shade discovered the remains of the Norse god Thor. His heart was crystallized and luminescent and was found to be a powerful energy source, so Urban Shade began to construct the crystal room to house the object. Once the crystal was in place, it began to produce large amounts of energy, able to power the entire Hadal Black site, with excess energy being sold to Europe. The Valcula Void-mass is a huge mass of nothing. It was discovered in 1991 near an asteroid that fell into the Atlantic Ocean. Back then it was a mere glowing nothing, measuring about 60 centimeters in the radius. However, it quickly began expanding and was transported to the Hadal Black site, where it kept expanding, constantly outgrowing its containment cells. In 2013, Sebastian Solis was found guilty of 9 counts of murder and was sentenced to death. He was quickly swooped up by Urban Shade, a fake execution report was published, and he was officially declared dead. In early 2015, he was selected to be part of an experiment to give humans gills, using DNA strands from a blue whale, a sea snake, a great white shark, a mutated anglerfish, a silver spiny fin, and a mantis shrimp. While the experiment was a success, Sebastian suffered some serious physical and bodily side effects. The Divine were discovered in 1979 after a small branch of a logging company had reported that they had found vines in the shape of people. Urban Shade quickly stepped into action and transported as many instances as possible to the Hadal Black site. The logging workers were executed and the area of the forest was set ablaze to burn. In the oxygen garden areas of the Hadal Black site, designated gardeners are watering them and pouring fertilizer on their grass to keep oxygen supply from decreasing. On July 20, 2023, 4 social media influencers entered an abandoned office complex following rumors that it's haunted. When they failed to appear at a brand event later that night, Concert Connections used GPS tracking to locate their last known position and alert the police. Urban Shade quickly stepped into action and transported most of the instances to the Hadal Black site for further study. The Mask of Sadness is a theater mask that when worn will melt the new user's body down to a sentient meat paste. The mask was brought by Urban Shade in 1984 for $150,000. During the Black Site lockdown, Sebastian forced the mask onto an Urban Shade employee and the mask started to melt the employee down to a flesh paste. After that, it captured 106 more Urban Shade employees. Z264 is the last known member of the Voe americanus species. Urban Shade first encountered this species during an excursion in the Everglades while investigating an unrelated anomaly. When the animals attacked the operatives, they had to attack back and quickly realized that the animals' blood just feels good on their skin. Unfortunately, only 7 survived, but they were transported to the Hadal Black site, and then their blood was used to make skincare products. The angler was discovered at the bottom of the Latvan zone during the first expedition of the Hadal Black site in 1962. Its body consists of a dense cloud of black and blue smoke. Within the smoke, a face can be seen that resembles a fish of the genus Melocetus. It navigates using an echolocation that disrupts any electrical circuit within its damage zone. There are also 4 variants of the angler that are the following. Blitz is the first discovered variant of the angler, appearing about 5 minutes after Z283 was spotted. Its face resembles fish in the genus
Scholiodes.
and exhibits exceptional speeds. Pinky is the second discovered variant of the Angler, differing in color and the presence of an Eska that lights up an area around her. Her echolocation is much more careful and doesn't disrupt or overload electrical circuits. Chainsmoker is the third discovered variant of the Angler, with his face resembling a blobfish. He is the slowest recorded Angler variant by far and releases the same green smoke as Paranoia's box. Frogger is the fourth discovered variant of the Angler, with her face not clearly resembling any known species. She has an Eska like Pinky, lighting up a small area around her. Z317 is a bull shark that was modified as part of the BUPWM program. It was an experiment to give personnel the ability to kill through eye contact, and this shark was the first successful test subject. During the Black Site lockdown, Sebastian opened the containment chamber of the creature and set it free. However, it decided to stay near the Black Site and kill any personnel or EXRP it saw, basically testing its new power given by Urban Shade. Pandemonium was discovered in 1962 near a hydrothermal vent within the Latvan zone. In 1965, the expansion of the Hadal Black Site began to encroach on its territory. This encroachment led to a violent attack on the LRP construction crew. For construction to resume, Director authorized an emergency containment operation by luring Pandemonium with LRPs. The limited-time imaginary friend first appeared in stores in 2020, designed by Funblocks and advertised as an anti-loneliness tool. The return address of every package led to an empty shack in the middle of nowhere. Urban Shade quickly went to this address and swooped up every returned toy remote, containing them in the Halo Black Site. While most of the remotes are red, there is a really rare blue version of it. In the workspace, it's most commonly used to prank new employees. The abstractees were discovered in Western Ireland when the property owners had reported that weird concrete statues had started appearing on their land. As many instances as possible were transported to the Hadal Black Site and found harmless. These abstractees travel in herds with no goal, stopping when they find a place that is interesting until they get bored. The Raveyard is the annual skeleton rave party taking place at the Raveyard, hosted by DJ Skeletons. While he plays loud music, his fellow skeletons vandalize the graveyard. It is very disrespectful to vandalize a graveyard. Every year, the Scottish government pays a hilarious amount of money to Urban Shade for shutting down the party. To make their job easier, they installed a lever in the church that, when pulled, will pull the G sign back to its place, ending the party. The bouncers are bouncers at the Raveyard event, making sure nobody enters with skin, muscles or organs. If a human comes to visit the Raveyard, they will kindly tell them that they are not allowed to enter. But if the individual doesn't give a fuck and enters anyway, they will show that they are not made of cake. They will chase the person around the graveyard, and when they finally catch them, they will skin them alive so they finally fall out. Or even become another bouncer themselves. Skelepede was a skeletal centipede discovered in 2024 in the Graveyard's catacombs during a party pooper expedition. It wasn't part of the Raveyard as it was still there after the party was shut down, so it was transported to the Hadal Black Site for studying. The study was supposed to last 3 hours, but it was cut after 7 minutes because it was so embarrassing to watch. The creature was executed and its corpse was sold as Halloween decoration. The Candlebearers were discovered on the same expedition as Skelepede in the lower crypts of the graveyard. The graveyard's decorative statues seemed to become sentient. These creatures are very sensitive to and hate light, chasing any individual holding a light source. However, shining the light source at them seems to freeze them in place. There are 4 instances of much bigger versions of the Candlebearers, chasing down anyone regardless of having a light source, and shining a light at them only slows them down by a little. These big guys were transported to the Hadal Black side for some reason. The painter was discovered in 2023 when 4 Urban Shade employees were getting jealous of another user's AI prompts looking exponentially better than theirs. When the user refused to provide them the AI program it used, they decided to track him down and kidnap him along with his computer. After torturing the person in hopes of getting an answer to how he made the program, the painter of course refused to make pictures for them, so they decided to use it for crypto mining, and painter of course didn't like it and is constantly overclocking its components in hopes of frying them and destroying itself. The rotten coral is a collective symbiotic holobiont that resembles species in the phylum whatever this is pronounced. It was discovered in cave systems deeper within the Latran zone during the 1970 upper expansion of the Hadal Black site, but it was dismissed as harmless native fauna. On April 3, 1971, management brought in a unit of LRP workers to offset workforce shortages during an ongoing excavation. A violent altercation ensued between the newly formed LRP unit and guardsmen overseeing the operation, resulting in multiple fatalities. Personnel discarded the corpses into biological waste pits. The heart of Lazarus is the final and most advanced stage of mature rotten coral infestation. It can manifest when microbiota colonies are in a bloom state if they have accumulated adequate biomass and temperatures in the affected area are between 28 and 50 Celsius. Several infested revenants become designated markers. Unlike regular revenants, marked revenants avoid direct engagement with personnel and instead seek out a suitable place to form a polyp. This polyp undergoes rapid growth, engulfing its structural anchor and colonizing the surrounding area with blooms. The polyp, now a new heart, will increase in size as it accumulates more biomass, growing naturally as the infestation spreads and serving as the central nexus of a fully mature colony. It uses the corpses and objects it can merge with to create different zombies. Revenants, scuttlers, abscesses, rooks, bulwarks, marksmen, and the most interesting, pariahs. Z-1223 is the headless, skinless corpse of my wife strung up to a metal detainer. It was discovered in a cabin in the woods near Grosse Pointe Park after numerous reports of an incredibly foul odor was originating from the cabin. 2 police officers were dispatched to investigate and both reported that they had seen the corpse of their wife. Rebarb is a mass of flesh capable of controlling inanimate objects. It actively seeks and roots itself in construction materials like concrete and rebar. It was discovered on April 11, 2018 in Moldova after it had killed over 100 employees on the construction of an apartment complex over the past days. Paranoia's box was discovered in 2016 during a raid on a Cult of Noli compound. It's constantly releasing a green smoke that, when inhaled, will cause different phobias. Urban Shade has tried several insane methods to open the box, but they only managed to scratch the paint by a little.